This week on Hooligan Nation, KISS Kruise Landlocked from start to finish with all the juicy details from two hooligans that were there for it all. Those two hooligans were him and I. Stay tuned, cause you got
nothing to lose.
You got
Nothing to lose.
You got nothing.
You wanted the best. Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking KISS.
Welcome to the Hooligan Nation, the KISS-Centric Podcast, the podcast where the riffs are loud, but our opinions are louder. I'm Anthony.
I'm Rocco.
Yes, you are. Father Rocco. Thank you. Thank you. After the weekend that we had, I need somebody to bless me a couple times. What's up, hooligans?
What's up, hooligans?
Father Rocco and I landed about 12 hours ago from one of the most amazing weeks of our combined over 100 years of life, I think. I think that's safe to say that.
I think it's safe to say we were landlocked in.
So just so you all are aware, so you can be mad at me now, I did promise when we came back that we would be doing news, music we're listening to, the weekly poll and everything else. Well, we cut all of that. And not only did we cut that, we cut it because we have so much content to go through in this episode that this would be a 3-hour podcast. I mean, if we don't pay attention, it might be a 3-hour podcast anyway. And since Father Rocco and I just got about 3 hours sleep today, we can't be doing this for 3 hours tonight.
That's for sure.
So we did, while we were gone, we did an episode on the 90s, 1990 to 1994, which came out on Friday, November 14th. And our intention was to do the second episode of the 90s, 95 to 99, and that was supposed to come out November 21st. Well, we changed everything, and we are going to preempt that second 90s episode, and it will come out November 28th, because we're filming this one on November 18th, and we're going to put it out for November 21st. So we're going to skip music news, music we're listening to, last episode recap, and the poll, just so we have enough time to tell y'all about the KISS Kruise Landlocked in Vegas 2025. With that being said, let's get to it. Battleborn is a collaborative effort among like-minded individuals and organizations intent on repairing and restoring people who have served our country. We do this by delivering a unique level of support and guidance to those servicemen and women who have emotional and psychological wounds. We provide support directly and indirectly in collaboration with others in our community who value those who have served this nation and its communities. For more information, go to wearebattleborn.com. Father Rocco.
Yes.
Where would you like to start?
Let's start. You know what? Let's try to start from the beginning.
Okay, cool. So some of you may be interested in this. Some of you may not be interested in this. If you're not interested in this, that's what they got the fast forward button for. But to understand what our week was like, you have to have the details. So I woke up Tuesday morning about 9 a.m. Tuesday morning and stayed up all day, packed, worked, didn't really get much done. But then I went to pick Father Rocco up at 1 a.m.
Hey, that's me.
That is you, yes. Yep. Father Rocco, Father Whispers. But you got other nicknames after this thing. Father Hair Gel. We'll get to that. I picked Father Rocco up about 1 a.m. Wednesday morning, and we took the hour and 15-minute ride to JFK Airport. We had to stop at long-term parking, drop our car off, We took a shuttle over to JFK. We breezed through security because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe. We breezed through security except for Father Rocco's 55-gallon drum of hair gel.
It was not a 55-gallon.
Which, of
I'd
course,
say he's
got
exaggerating
flagged.
just a little bit.
Which, of course, got flagged by TSA.
Can I give you, I had packed everything. I knew what not to put in there. And at the last
clearly, you did not know what.
It was it was a last minute thing. I threw it in there because I'm like, you know what? There's going to be days I don't want to wear a hat. Just throw some gel, whatever. And I just threw it in there without thinking. And of course, they pulled my bag.
Yeah, yes, they did pull your bag. And when I tell you it was a 55-gallon drum of hair gel, folks.
It was not a 55-gallon.
The hair gel was the size of this coffee cup. Anybody that's ever flown on a plane knows 3.5 ounces of liquid, except for our Father Rocco.
Well, I mean, I fly every month.
No, you fly every month. You fly to Cuckoo's Nest, maybe.
I'm just saying, it's an honest mistake. I don't fly often.
Oh, are you just saying? Oh, all right. Well, then it's okay because you're just saying.
Okay.
The plane was boarding and Peter. It proven more than once this weekend.
Oh, no. Continue.
So our plan, before we get into anything else, our plan was to stay up all night, and then we were going to get on the plane, which I think was scheduled to take off at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Around 6 a.m. And our plan was, this was we had discussions about this. We're going to stay up all night. And then when we get on the plane at 6 a.m., we're going to be able to sleep the entire flight. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. We took, the best thing I can explain it is I took micro naps. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, less than 5 minutes. It was terrible.
Cramped, uncomfortable. Yeah.
We get on the airplane and there is not one empty seat on the entire airplane, which means that we were packed into a tube like sausage.
Absolutely.
And that did not make the flying experience better. It definitely made it worse. But the flight was a good flight. And then we landed, and then we decided that, we're tired. And we just flew 5.5 hours. Let's go on a nightmare. So we went on a nightmare of shuttles and trams trying to get to our rental car spot. And as it turned out, we pretty much went in a circle. And after jumping on all of these buses, trams, and all these different forms of transportation to get us to the rental car, we ended up back at the airport in exactly the spot that we started. At which point I said to hell with this, and we got a taxi, which cost us $50, by the way. But our taxi driver got us to the rental car.
And he was cool, had good music.
He was. Well, he wasn't playing any Kiss, but yeah, his music was pretty good.
Yeah, it was R&B. It was old school.
So we got the rental car. We slid over to our hotel. We were spending the first 2 nights, Wednesday and Thursday night, at the Wyndham Desert Blue Hotel, which was amazing.
Awesome.
It was fantastic. I have no complaints over the Wyndham Desert Blue.
Thank God for the jacuzzi tub.
I should have took video of you.
My bones were. Listen, a lot of walk. How much walking do? How many steps did we get the first day?
20,000.
My feet were. He's not exaggerating. My feet were killing me.
I'm not exaggerating. I have a Fitbit. It tells me exactly how many I got. So we got back to the hotel. We checked into the hotel. We put our stuff up there, and then I guess the best way to explain it is we did some light sightseeing. We came back to the hotel. We finally took, we probably should have slept for about 8 hours, and we ended up taking 2-hour naps. Got up, and we were going to the Sphere to see The Wizard of Oz on Wednesday night. And oh my God, did we?
because.
Hooligans, if you ever find yourself in Las Vegas, the Sphere is a must go to experience.
It don't matter what's playing. It's
Yeah,
worth
it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I don't even know, man. I don't even know how to get into it and how to explain it.
You got to experience it at least once. It really is incredible, and then standing on the outside of it too is incredible.
Well, that's the first thing. Standing on the outside of it is a life-changing experience to begin with, because I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
Me neither.
And then you walk inside, and the place is pretty amazing from the moment you walk in. I mean, it's huge. It's beautifully done.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody left anything on the planning table.
That's
like
sure.
They did it all. And then we sit down in the theater and the movie comes on and we're blown away immediately. But then the tornado scene towards the beginning of The Wizard of Oz was just a mind-blowing experience, between the lights and the wind blowing and the leaves.
You're in the tornado. You're basically in the tornado.
And you feel like you're in the tornado. Like, it's a mind-blowing experience.
Absolutely.
The entire movie, that was probably the best part of the 3D or 4D interaction, but the entire movie with lighting and different things they had. At one point, they had, I don't even know what would you call them things flying around?
They're the monkeys. They're like flying monkeys,
like Mickey Dolenz and Peter Tork and Davy Jones.
But they had the
hey, we're the monkeys. We're not monkeying around.
To put in perspective, though, they're actually monkeys that look like the size of a human, but they're actually drones that are flying around while the movie's going.
No, I agree with you. I kept looking like, are they real people? Because they move like they're real people.
It definitely made you think that.
Then we went and got a drink at a bar, and then we dragged ourselves back to the hotel, and we passed out and died for about 8 hours.
Our waitress was really cool, though. It was Christiana or Chrysius. I forget her name.
Christine?
It wasn't Christine.
It was Christine.
Okay, it was Christine. But she called it something different, though.
Chrissy.
No, it was something different than that.
Well, it wasn't Chrysius, I promise.
Okay. Either way, she was really cool.
And it wasn't Chrysalis either, like you told me Thursday or Wednesday night. What's her name? Chrysalis. No, that's a record company that Vinny signed to. But anyhow.
It sounded like she said that, but whatever.
So then we went back to the hotel, and day one, Wednesday, was done. We saw the Sphere, which definitely didn't disappoint. I think we paid $109 per ticket, and let me tell you something. I was a little pissy at the fact that I had to pay $109 for a movie ticket, but nobody told James Dolan this, but I would have paid $200 for that ticket after going there and seeing that. I mean, I would have paid $200 just to see The Wizard of Oz like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Thursday, we kind of chilled because we were already burnt and jet lagged. We chilled until about 4 p.m. We did a couple little things. We had lunch at the hotel, which was pretty good. And then 4 p.m., we went over to the Virgin Hotel and we checked in for the KISS event. You could check in starting around 4 p.m. on Thursday for the KISS event. You couldn't check into the hotel until Friday unless you had reservations for Thursday, which we didn't. We got all kinds of gifts, which included an autographed poster from KISS and a couple other little things, which actually we had to have shipped. So it's somewhere between Las Vegas and New Jersey right now, and I don't remember everything that we got, but good for Hooligans. Neither one of us, Father Rocco or I, are collectors, so giveaways are coming. That's a hint. Giveaways are coming for all you KISS collectors. And then we kind of walked around the hotel for probably an hour and were immediately blown away at the transformation of the hotel. When I tell you people, they turned the Virgin into the KISS Hotel. There's no way to explain it. This episode is going to be filled with video and still photos because you can't explain it without pictures. Everything was KISS. I mean, KISS music played 24 hours a day. Every wall was covered in KISS photos.
Elevator doors.
The elevator doors, each of them had full-length pictures of KISS. The gargoyle from the early stage shows were out. The piano that Eric Singer plays Beth on was there. The entire hotel was just a KISS hotel. And then about 6 o'clock, we went over to the pre-party, which was ran and organized by KISS Cancer Goodbye and KISS Army Spain, who once again did a killer job. And if you want to know the details on that, we gave an entire Wednesday bonus segment that will go out on November 26th, and that's detailing everything from the pre-party. So if you're interested in that, slide over to there on or after November 26th, and you'll get that. On Friday, we checked into the hotel around noon. And check-in I thought check-in was pretty easy.
Well, yeah, that was pretty smooth.
I mean, the place was already covered with KISS fans everywhere, and it looked like thousands and thousands of KISS fans. And it took us about 15 minutes into our stay at the Virgin before the hotel pissed both of us off. And we proved without a doubt that both of us are complete idiots. And I know that this is not directly about KISS or the weekend, but I have to tell this story because I still feel like an idiot. We get into the hotel room on Friday and we got about an hour and a half, 2 hours before anything is going on that we really wanted to go to. So we get into the hotel and we're unpacking and we're doing this and we're doing that. And we brought, little things like sodas, drinks. So we go to it's me, by the way, because I don't have a mouse named Father Rocco in my pocket. I go to the mini fridge and it's a pre-stocked mini fridge. So I'm like, okay, I don't want this stuff. It's got a QR code with a price list, and it's like $15 for a Diet Pepsi. I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. That's how we get in trouble. So I picked the phone up, and I called down to the front desk, and I'm like, hey, I'd like my mini fridge. Can you guys come and take all this stuff out of the mini fridge? We're not going to use it. And I should have paid attention, and I should know better, but I didn't. The guy on the other end tells me, we charge $40 for that, and we'll come up and we will lock your mini fridge. And I'm like, yeah, but we have nowhere to put our drinks. And he's like, well, the mini fridge isn't for your use. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just say thank you. And I'm like,
Is it safe to say I was a little bit annoyed by that part of it?
Oh, you were annoyed. The next day was even better.
It still pisses me off. I hooligans, you know what? If you're made it this far and you're listening to this part of this conversation, after I make this statement, I want your opinion of it. I don't give a shit what kind of marketing thing that they want to do, and they're trying to get you to spend money and blah 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 and all this stuff. There still should be access to have something that you could put like leftovers, because obviously you go into restaurants, you may not eat all their stuff. I'd say about 75 to 80% of the people that are there are going to have leftovers that they want to keep cool to have for the next day, if they, so it doesn't go to waste. And me and him were going back and forth for a while. He was telling me about the marketing part of it. I don't care about the marketing part of it. You take care of your patrons. That's not taking care of your patrons.
Nah, man, they want you to spend money at their hotel. They don't want you to save stuff. They want you to throw it away and spend more money.
Dude, you can still have a fully stocked thing there with the things you want to spend on, but you should have a little spot where you can at least put leftovers. That was my biggest complaint.
Well, anyway, so I get off the phone and I look at Father Rocco and I say, to hell with them. I'm just taking this shit out of the mini fridge and we're going to put our stuff in. So I take all the shit. You know, there's nothing that can go bad. It's just sodas, drinks, of course, tons of alcohol that is as overpriced as any alcohol I've ever seen in my entire life. And I take it all out and I put it in on a shelf and we put our stuff in and we go about our business. And it wasn't until the next day, Saturday, where we had a little downtime in the afternoon and we came back and I'm kind of like mulling around and I'm looking at things and I see this little sign. And the sign wasn't I didn't see it on the actual mini fridge. It was on a little box that was on the top of a entertainment center right under the TV. And it had like, you know, a protein bar in these little clear tubes. I'm sure all you cultured people I'm sure you all know what we're talking about. I mean, me and him, we're just two idiots, I guess. And there's these little tubes. And inside of one was like a protein bar, and then there was a Snickers bar, bag of M&Ms, and a couple other assorted things. And then I look over in the corner, and in the really fine print, and I mean really fine print, I'm 51 years old, and I don't see well anymore. So, and I didn't have any glasses on. But once I look at the fine print, it says that if you touch and lift up any of these little clear tubes, you automatically get charged for the item. Well, luckily enough for both of us, we hadn't touched that. So I'm like, oh, cool. Okay. I turn around to Father Rocco and I say, hey, don't touch anything in this box. I go, because once you lift it up, they're going to charge you for it. He pays no mind to me as usual. I then open the door.
Because I don't remember that comment. So anyway,
I know. That's why I should have a GoPro stuck to my forehead.
Or I should just follow you around to make sure I hear everything you say.
Absolutely, you should. You would become a smarter guy.
Wow. Okay.
You would know how to pronounce Neil Peart's name.
It's Pert.
If you actually listen.
It is Pert. Someday you'll figure it out.
No, Pert is a shampoo, and you don't have enough hair to justify shampoo.
And you got even less, so we're good.
And I got none, so I just waxed the top of my head to get a little shininess.
I get hair in parts I don't want.
Yeah, let's not. We don't. That's for a different podcast. That's for like two middle-aged guys talking about what's wrong with their life.
We got to move this along because I think the guys want us to talk more about the KISS stuff. And
so I'm getting to the punchline. So then I open the little cabinet door for the mini fridge, and wouldn't you know, there's a little micro sign there saying the same thing. If you lift up any of these drinks, you automatically get charged for it. And I look over at the shelf, and there's about 30 drinks, and in my estimation, about $300-400 of things that got charged onto our account. So I'm panicking. I'm not telling him that I'm panicking, but I'm in a panic. I pick the phone up, I call the front desk, and I'm like, I made a big mistake, and I need your help. And the guy starts laughing. He knows what I've done. And I explain it to him, and he goes, okay, put it all back, and I'll take the charges off, and somebody will have to come up and inspect the mini fridge, and we'll be all good. So I'm like, that's great. Thank you. I get off the phone and I start putting all the drinks back into the mini fridge that I shouldn't have took them all out of, by the way, but well, I am what I am. And I turn around to Father Rocco and I say, hey, we just got hit with all this mini fridge charges and everything. Like, he's right there when I'm on the phone, but he don't always pay attention, in case you guys didn't pick up on that or not. And I tell him the whole thing about the sign, and it's like, it's got some weight thing underneath, and if you lift it up, it automatically charges it, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I got all the charges fixed, but we can't touch any of this stuff. He responds, okay. I sit down on the bed. I turn the TV on.
The part of that I didn't catch was that you can't even lift it up. But you can edit that part out. That you can't even lift it up.
So I sit down on the bed. I turn the TV on. He gets up. He walks over to the TV, to that box that I'm talking about, and he turns around and looks at me and says, "What is an intimacy kit?"
No,
is that what it's?
No, romance.
Romance. What is a romance kit? He then takes his hand and puts it on the box, lifts it up, and shows it to me. And I'm like,
I was kind of making a joke about it. I'm like, what the hell is this thing?
And I'm like, dude, I just told you can't lift that stuff. Got to call down to the same guy. And I'm like, hey, it's me again. It's the two idiots from the 18th floor. We did it again. And he starts laughing again, and he took the charge off, and we ended up not getting charged for anything, but I thought that was funny. Anyway, that might be the last. Well, it probably won't be the last joke that we tell throughout the day. So then after that, we go down. We watched KISS Nation, which was one of the cover bands. We watched them from the room. Our window looked out onto the lawn area and the stage. So we watched KISS Nation from the 18th floor. Wasn't real bad. You could hear it really good. And then we went down for the KISS acoustic set. And that started at I think about 3:30. And the KISS acoustic set kicked off with a moment of silence for Ace Frehley, which was led by Paul Stanley.
And we're talking about Ace. So, we certainly had differences, but that's what family is about. And why don't we take a moment, a little quiet, think about him looking down on us from Jendel, probably. And let's have a moment for Ace. Candles up. Wow. Thanks, Ace. Thank you. Thanks for So here we are.
I thought it was classy.
Yeah.
I thought it was, and we talked about this in past episodes, that I hope they did something. Well, that's what they did. Paul spoke about Ace for a couple minutes. They did a moment of silence. It was very classy, very well done, I thought. And then KISS, Eric Singer, Tommy Thayer, Paul Stanley, and Gene Simmons were up on stage, and they went into an acoustic set. And it starts out with Coming Home, See You Tonight, I'll Be Back, of course, a Beatles song, A World Without Heroes, Hard Luck Woman, which I thought was a great rendition of Hard Luck Woman with Eric Singer.
Yeah, that might have been one of my
Paul
favorites.
Stanley, both singing it.
Yeah.
Christine 16, they kind of played twice.
Yeah, Paul made a funny joke saying it's actually these days it's Christine 60.
Nothing to Lose, Going Blind, Hide Your Heart, another great rendition. Plaster Caster, Beth, and Love Her All I Can. For the band playing the first time in just about 2 years, the only thing I can say is they are either that good or they put a lot of time in the rehearsals, because is pretty amazing, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely think overall, I think they put all the time leading up to this. They definitely put a lot of effort into rehearsing.
And I'm gonna tell you all this. It's out there on the internet and all in these Facebook pages with these keyboard warriors shit talking Kiss and the set list and everything else. Trust me, don't believe any of that. I don't think you'll find anyone that was there that would really have anything bad to say about Kiss's performances, either one of them, the acoustic or the electric set. I mean,
No, and I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but probably the biggest thing has always been that Paul's voice is going, and Paul's voice I thought sounded it didn't sound it was a shell of what it once was, but I still feel it was really strong.
yeah, he was good. I mean, Father Rocco and I talked about this. They have finally started to cater songs. It seems that he can still sing.
Right.
Like instead of ripping into songs that he just can't do anymore, they started to add songs that he can still do, which is great for all of us.
Yeah, it makes me happy that that they're doing that.
Like if you're a fair weather Kiss fan, you're not going to Las Vegas for a Kiss event like this. These are all hardcore fans.
Very true.
Like you play anything in the catalog and they're happy with it. And if it's something you don't normally play, most hardcore Kiss fans are 10 times happier anyway.
Right. And listen, the other thing is that I'll say is like my personal, not him necessarily, but my personal thing about the Kiss cruises in the past is I can't afford it. I'm not really a cruise guy anyway. The hell with it. Immediately when it was like landlocked, I'm like, And then he had mentioned it. We found a decent package and I'm like, let's do it. Now, after having going, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you're a diehard Kiss fan and you can afford it, put your pennies away. Because when they have these events, whether it is on a cruise or it's like in Vegas, if you're a Kiss fan, being able to experience that, if you experience it once, you're going to want to experience it again. That's what I'll end there.
Yeah, it was definitely a once in a lifetime experience, that's for sure. Once the set was over, we had about an hour before the next event. I think we went to eat. We'll spare you those details because we ate a lot of hot dogs and pizza all weekend long.
They were good though. That place, basically one place was like kept on ended up in that place.
The pizza place was good. 6 p.m. we went to what they called a conversation with Eddie Kramer. Anything with Eddie Kramer. Eddie Kramer wasn't physically there. They zoomed him in, but it was still good to see. It was good to hear Eddie Kramer's take on lots of little things that I cannot remember off the top of my head, probably because of the lack of sleep. But it was a good hour with Eddie Kramer that slid right into about 20 minutes of comedy with Craig Gass. And anybody that has not seen Craig Gass yet, just go on YouTube. He does impersonations, and you know what? His Gene impersonation wasn't great to me.
No, same here.
But his Sebastian Bach impersonation
Fantastic.
Was killer, dead on.
And he did Sam Kinison. If you know who Sam Kinison is.
Yeah, he did Sam Kinison too. Yeah,
and that was perfect. Yeah.
And after Craig Gass, Quiet Riot came on at 7 p.m. And all I can say is Jizzy Pearl sounds just like Kevin DuBrow. Quiet Riot was very good. I thought musically they were very tight. I'm not the biggest Quiet Riot fan, but to hear Come On Feel the Noise and all that, I thought was great. And then after Quiet Riot, Piercy DiMartini came on and blew the stage out.
Yeah.
Warren DiMartini just killed it from first song to last song. Stephen Piercy sounded good,
and he's such a veteran. Like you could just see he owns the stage. It's so old hat to him. You can see that he just knows how to interact with the crowd, get through each song really smooth. Oh, not to mention too, not just DiMartini, the other guitarist,
Carlos Cavazo.
He was pretty damn good too on stage.
Yeah, he was. It was kind of weird. It was weird for Quiet Riot to come on. It was weird for me for Quiet Riot to come on and then leave the stage, and then Rat comes on and Carlos Cavazos and Rat. That was kind of weird to me a little bit.
That was a little weird. Yeah.
But Piercy DiMartini were definitely worth the price of admission, just like Quiet Riot was. It was a great night. We get out of there, I don't know, probably about 11 o'clock, and Father Rocco wants to go to Kiss Karaoke. And we go to Kiss Karaoke. And Father Rocco sings, but never fear, hooligans.
What are you talking about?
I have it on video.
You recorded that?
Yes, I did. But
I didn't know you recorded it.
if we ever start a Patreon, it'll be on the Patreon. But we don't have a Patreon right now, so
I know. Honestly, send that to me. I didn't know you recorded that.
you'll have to. Of course, I recorded it. I need material.
I know, but you didn't tell me you recorded. I really didn't know you recorded that.
And then the second, what I think is the second Virgin Hotel asshat moment, out of nowhere at like 12:40, they like bust into the club where they're doing the karaoke and they shut it all down. They don't give us a reason why. It didn't make any sense to me. It was 12:40, but they shut it down.
And before and lead up, I was going up there to sing a song for you. Like I literally was ready to do Love Gun.
You were gonna sing to me?
I told you pick a song. I get up there and am I wrong? I'm right, literally ready to hit play, and the DJ's like, they won't let me play it.
The Virgin Hotel missed Father Rocco serenading me in the middle of Kiss Karaoke.
It wasn't that kind of moment.
That
Love
would've
Gun's one of
been-
Love Gun's one of your favorite songs. It's a song you picked, and I was going to go up and do it for you.
If you would have started serenading me with Love Gun, I would have put a rose in my mouth and got down on one knee.
Well, again, isn't he funny?
Well, anyway, so they shut us down. And it's probably a good thing that they did shut us down because it was 12:40 and Father Rocco and I, our asses were dragging about 10 feet behind us at that time.
And the song I did was Mama, I'm Coming Home. I didn't even do a Kiss song.
I know. Terrible. Terrible. We should pull your Kiss card.
No, they did. It wasn't a Kiss song I wanted to sing.
So then Saturday, the day started early for us Saturday. Three Sides of the Coin did a live podcast from within the hotel. It started at 9:30. We went down there. We stayed there for about 45 minutes. I think it was supposed to be an hour. We stayed about 45 minutes. It was cool. They had a lot of people there. They had a couple guests. I can't remember off the top of my head who the guests were.
Ace's road manager. He had some interesting stories.
Yeah. I can't remember his name. I apologize. I did not walk around with my notebook, which if we go to another KISS event, my notebook will not leave my side. But then we slid over and we were going to do the first meet and greet, which was with Chris Jericho, Piercy DiMartini, Quiet Riot, and both cover bands, KISS Nation and Mr. Speed. And when we got there, it was only an hour for a meet and greet with all of those people.
That was bad planning.
That was you need to double that to probably 2 hours to get a chance. As soon as we get in line and we get in there, they tell us automatically, like, who do you want to see? You can only choose one. You're not going to get to anybody else. So we chose Jericho. And then we're in line for Jericho. And thank God Jericho was cool. Because we're in line and it's like 55 minutes past the hour. I don't remember if it was... It was probably 11:55, and it was from 11 to 12. This woman, and I don't know whether she was from the hotel or she was from Vibey or what she was, or what's the other one? Pop House.
Yeah, Pop House.
I don't know where she was from, but she walks through the line and she says, "No more pictures to conserve time." And we're like looking at each other like, we're not autograph hounds. We've said this time and time again. We were not collectors. Like, we didn't go there for autographs. We went there to talk to Chris Jericho and get a picture with Chris Jericho. Well, we look at, and we're probably, at the time, we got like 5 people in front of us. And we look up, and Jericho completely disregarded her, thank God. And he's still taking pictures. And we get up there and we talk to him. I don't know, we talked to him for about 2 minutes maybe. And we took a picture with Jericho. He was really cool. And then the meet and greet was done for us because they were done. They were trying to shoo people out after an hour. It's probably the worst planned part of the entire event was the meet and greets. And then after that, we had a little downtime. And then 6 o'clock, quarantine comes on. And I will give you Quarantine's set list, which, by the way, was also amazing and mind-blowing in every way. So Quarantine's set list starts out with I Just Wanna, Heaven's on Fire, Heart of Chrome, Good Girl Gone Bad, All Hell's Breaking Loose, a guitar solo, Let's Put the X in Sex, Fits Like a Glove, Who Wants to Be Lonely, another guitar solo, Domino, Silver Spoon, Creatures of the Night, All Night, Unholy, and they end on Turn on the Night. Now, Hooligans, first off, they did a fantastic job. Amazing job on KISS songs. The best part of it is hearing songs like Let's Put the X in Sex and Turn on the Night live. Because to my knowledge, KISS has never played either one of those songs live. And I can tell you this much. Quarantine's version of Turn on the Night might be better than KISS's version.
It's pretty close.
I mean, it was great.
I mean, there's some songs that you could see that Chris has a little bit of difficulty with singing, but not on that song.
Yeah, not on that song, but he's got Turn on the Night down. He did a really good version of Let's Put the X in Sex, and that wasn't the only one.
No, I mean, like I said, that's me saying that about his voice. He did. They sounded great.
Yeah, they were great. He is another front man that is an incredible showman.
Yeah.
Commanded the stage. I would definitely go see Quarantine again.
Me too.
That's for sure. And then once Quarantine comes off, Sebastian Bach comes on, goes through a set list. What Do I Got to Lose? Slave to the Grind, Here I Am, Big Guns, Sweet Little Sister, 18 in Life, Can't Stand the Heartache, Freedom, Shock Me, which was probably the highlight of the show, Piece of Me, Future of Youth, Monkey Business, I Don't Know, Ozzy Osbourne cover, which was really good also.
Yeah.
I Remember You and Youth Gone Wild, and rinse and repeat for what I said about Jericho. Sebastian Bach is a showman. All over the stage, the screams are amazing. All his songs, singing-wise, they weren't all great, but the screams were great, and I felt like he got better throughout the show. His voice got better as time went on.
I mean, he's still got pipes. I mean, for his age now and for all the years, I thought he was sounding really good. There were some times where I forget. I think it may have been not Youth Going Wild, the other one.
18 in Life.
18 in Life. I was a little disappointed with his performance on that one, but I think majority of the set, I thought he killed.
Yeah, again, and you're going to hear this over and over again in this episode. He killed. The band was great. I mean, it was almost like orders came down from KISS. Like, if you're going to go out there, you got to put on an A+ show.
Yeah.
And everybody put on an A+ show.
Yeah, well said.
And this is what's going to take up most of our time here. Next up is the KISS Unmasked Electric set. And I'm not sure Yeah, I'm not sure how much of this we can really get into detail because there's so much of it. But I'll start out with the set list. It was Deuce, Take Me, Hotter Than Hell, Calling Dr. Love, Got to Choose, Watching You, Cold Gin, I Love It Loud, Love Her All I Can, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Black Diamond, Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Do You Love Me? We'll stop there for now. There was 2 encores. They did not go off the stage and come back on. Paul made a statement about that. They're not going to do the whole show thing of going off stage. But when they came out to Deuce, the first thing is, like, we were all told there wasn't going to be a big extravagant stage show. There wasn't going to be bombs and fire, and there wasn't. But I thought the stage show was perfect.
Colors, and yeah, I thought it was really, really well done.
You know, big thing for me always is the KISS sign in the back, lighted KISS sign, like that was there. Everything was good. And then they start out the Deuce, and I'm like, please don't do this. I'm like, please don't do all the songs that you always do. And then once the second song came on and it was Take Me, it was like, okay, this is going to be cool. Take Me, Hotter Than Hell, Watching You, Love Her All I Can, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Do You Love Me? Like, these are songs, some of these songs are in set list, but they're not in every set list.
All right, and Do You Love Me? Like I said, the end of that song, I don't know if you remember telling you, it was different. They did put a little twist on the end of it, and I thought it sounded really. I've always loved that song, and I thought they made it sound even better and better that time.
The band sounded the best that they've sounded in at least the last 15 years. Eric's drums were big, loud, and crisp. Paul's voice held up on pretty much all of the songs.
And I don't know if you agree. He midway through he was really feeling good, and he started giving a little bit more. Some of his high pitched stuff he started throwing out there too.
Yeah,
like, yeah, he's definitely good.
It was very much like a science project type thing, I think, and they kept saying, "Hey, we sound pretty good."
Yeah.
Hey, don't we sound good? Like, I think they were as happy with the way they sounded as the crowd was, and every person that was in that hotel was in that arena for that show.
Yeah.
And there's it's all over YouTube. I mean, you guys can go on YouTube and you can find the complete concert there. It was really good. And then after song 14, which was Do You Love Me, they kick into Lick It Up. No announcement, no anything. And as you're standing there watching this from the corner of the stage, Bruce Kulick walks out on stage. And when I tell you that place went buck wild, it's an understatement. Yeah. People went crazy. There was no hoopla for Bruce. Like, Bruce doesn't really want the hoopla, it seemed. He kind of stayed in the corner.
He's a shy guy. You could definitely tell he's a shy guy.
Like, you could just tell his personality with how he acted. And then they go from Lick It Up into Rock and Roll All Night, and there's confetti flying everywhere. And I mean everywhere. There was a lot of confetti. And it was just like over and over again. It was just an incredible show.
And don't forget Sophie. Gene brought Sophie out on the stage.
Sophie, Gene's daughter, gets dragged out on the stage at one point during Rock and Roll All Night, and she runs off the stage. Like, they were legitimately having fun.
Yeah.
Where there's all kinds of production and all kinds of cues for a KISS show, this was not like that at all.
Yeah.
Like, they were loose, they were talking to each other, they weren't in a hurry.
Yep.
They went out on stage and they had fun.
Yeah.
Like, everybody talked which, look, if you're watching us, 99.9% of the time, the only one that talks at a KISS show is Paul Stanley.
Right.
Not true. Gene was on the mic. Eric was on the mic. Tommy was on the mic. Like, they really shared that part of the show. They really spotlighted each of the members. And I got to tell you, Gene's bass was perfect.
Yeah.
The sound, the levels, everything was just as close to perfect as you could get.
Except one funny part with Eric.
What when his inner ears went out?
His ear, yeah, he was
4 times that it
he-
went out.
Yeah, he lost his shit in the back and but again, it wasn't like they were trying to be perfect. Like they were just kind of like the gloves were off. They were just having a good time, and even with something like that, they would be mortified, and it wasn't part of the script, and they didn't really seem to mind. It didn't affect their performance. They didn't let it affect them, and they just kept on going on like a machine after that. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it was really good, and I can't tell you people enough that by song 4 or 5, the first thought that popped in my head was they're coming back. I don't think they are, but the first thought in my head was they're coming back. They sound too good not to come back. They looked like they were having fun.
Absolutely.
They talked about missing this. It would not blow my mind in one respect, but it would blow my mind in another respect. But who knows what they're going to do, their KISS. So then the show's over. If you want to, as soon as the show's over, you can run to something else. We didn't. I think KISS Nation was playing the smaller room at the time, and then there was KISS karaoke going on, and there was like 2 or 3 other things. You walk out in the casino, and the DJ Noise is playing KISS songs, and we're just kind of hanging out in the casino, trying to keep our money, by the way, which I think we both successfully did very well.
Yeah, I didn't gamble once.
And Chris Angel walks out of the arena, and I didn't say this in the beginning, my bad. But Chris Angel introduced KISS before they went out on stage. So Chris Angel's working out, and this is what's wrong with fans sometimes. He's walking out of the arena. He didn't take a back door. He had a security guard, but he only had one security guard. And he's walking out with his kids. And some asshat is like attacking him for pictures with him. And his kid's like 6 or 7 years old. And she's in her pajamas with a stuffed animal holding on to his hand. And this guy is just ignoring it. Like, it's why these celebrities don't want to deal with the normal folk, because some of them are just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was stupidity to even watch it. And then we're hanging out about 5 minutes later, and here comes Bruce Kulick. And he's just walking through the casino. He had Lisa, his wife, with him at one moment, but she kind of ducked out, I guess, at some point. And we stopped Bruce. We got a quick picture with Bruce, but you're Bruce Kulick. You're at a KISS event. If he would have spent another 3 seconds there'd have been 100 people surrounding him. So he was getting out of there as quick as possible. And that about ended our Saturday night. We pretty much crawled to the room. Pretty much. Oh, no. Was Saturday the day with the rain? Yeah, so I got to go back a little bit in time. We leave the hotel room to go to the Q&A on Saturday night, and it is raining in our hallway. And I'm not kidding. It was raining in the hallway. The roof was leaking, and it was raining in the hallway. So, big shout out to Virgin Hotel. Good job. So that pretty much ends our Saturday. And thank God, because I don't think Father Rocco and I could have stayed awake and been productive much longer,
No shot.
because by that time it had to be 1 a.m. And then our last day, Sunday, last day of the KISS event, starts out with a Q&A with Chris Jericho, Bruce Kulick, and Bob Ezrin. Bob Ezrin was zoomed in on the big screens. And it was a great hour. Jericho's entertaining. A lot of talk about revenge and Carnival of Souls. And I don't know if they specifically said this, but it came across to me that Ezrin was supposed to produce Carnival of Souls, but ended up not doing it for some reason, which it would be interesting to see what that would have sounded like if Bob Ezrin would have produced it. Bruce discussed the Creatures event that was in Nashville, I think 2017 or 18, with Ace and Vinny. And as usual, Bruce was kind and gentle towards Vinny, but he did say he would never want to do that again. And Jericho was kind of peppering him here and there, trying to get him to say something about Vinny, and Bruce wouldn't do it.
Well, Jericho's story was pretty funny about how Vinny was on top of the tank playing a solo in the very beginning, and people were walking in saying, "Oh, that's really cool." And then like 20 minutes go by, and they're like, "He's still doing it?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's Vinny. I mean, that's kind of the definition of Vinny right there. So that was cool. That was a very good Q&A. It was a kind of a relaxed setting. Nobody acted like a star. Jericho doesn't ever act like a star, and I don't think Bruce does either.
And he's a good interviewer too.
Yeah. And then we slid over. I think we did. We slid over to Ask Doc, which was another Q&A with Doc McGee, which, in my opinion, Doc McGee is the greatest. He really is. I mean, his answers are direct and blunt, whether you like them or not. They let certain fans that are down in the expensive sections, they let them ask questions. And somebody asked Doc about a book, and you could hear everybody in the crowd like, "Oh, a book." And Doc killed that shit immediately. And with the answer he gave, I thought was the greatest answer.
Yeah, I agree.
And what might make him the greatest rock and roll manager of all time. He said, "Yeah, I don't think a book is in my future. You got to understand, these are my children, and I have to protect them. It's my job to protect them, not to write a book that's going to be filled with dirt." Because everybody knows nobody wants to read a book that's a kumbaya book.
Right.
Everybody wants to read a book about dirt. And he said, "Yeah, that I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen." He did get into and talk about this is starting out the new era of KISS. KISS isn't going anywhere, and I truly believe KISS is not going anywhere. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're not going anywhere. That's for sure. They got all kinds of things planned with KISS cruises and avatars and different projects. Hooligans, KISS is going to be around a long time. KISS is going to outlive all four original members. All the newer members, it's gonna outlive all of us. Like, we're all gonna go to our graves, and KISS is still gonna be here in some form or fashion, because I think that's how they have it set up.
I agree.
So after that, there was a little gap, I think. There was a Q&A with KISS, which was a damn good hour. Paul said he does not write unless there is a project, and well, Paul is writing. So take that however you want to take it. I don't think you're going to get a KISS album. I think they're going to create new music to come out in 27 with the avatars. Like, that's and nobody said that, but that's what makes the most sense to me. And I think from there, you might see a song here and a song there. I don't think you'll ever see another full album, but it's good to know we might get new Kiss music.
Yeah, I agree.
Gene was asked about Ace and Peter and said he should have used more tough love with both of them instead of letting it go just to get through it. I thought it was a poignant statement. I also think it's probably true. And he went into more detail, like you're out on tour and you just want to get along. So they didn't say the things that they should have said. They didn't do the things that they should have done. Somebody asked about the Tom Snyder interview, and Paul and Gene went into a pretty detailed account of why they were unhappy, just how they were trying to promote the Dynasty album and the Dynasty tour, and Ace was throwing a monkey wrench into their promotion and marketing. And I know you're chomping at the bit to bring this up because it was a point to you, but I thought the most telling thing that they said the entire hour was that Ace used to like to do that to them, and Peter loved it when Ace did that to Paul and Gene and knocked them off their game, and they all went in. Paul and Gene seems like they went into everything with like a plan, and Ace and Peter went into nothing with a plan. They just went with it. And when Ace did that with the Tom Snyder interview, Peter, and you can see on screen at the time that Peter's loving this.
Oh, yeah.
And they confirmed that Peter had the best time because Ace was kicking Gene and Paul in the nuts. Paul said he hopes Ace lived the life that he chose to live. He did make the statement that he thinks he did. I think everybody thinks he did. Look, Ace was Ace.
Yeah.
There's no better way to explain it. Ace did what Ace wanted to do. He did it the way he wanted to do it. And he lived a full life. And like Father Rocco says, what is that saying that you use all the time? He rode all the rides.
He went on all the rides.
He went on all the rides.
And he beat the problem. He beat his addiction too. So he left being a proud man too.
Yeah, I got to tell you, throughout the whole weekend, and we saw lots of different people. Some we talked to in the crowd. Some were on the stage doing Q&As. Every single person made a point. Every single person that had anything to do with Ace Frehley professionally, whether it was band members or management or whoever it was, made a point to say Ace had been sober for the last 15, 16, 17 years. No, he never fell off the wagon. It's disgusting, number one, that you have to answer that question. But when there's, excuse me, everybody, I'm using the T. When there's retards out there, not tards, tarts. When there's retards out there like Rachel Gordon, who is all over social media saying things like Ace isn't dead, he's still alive. Like, these stories are going to go out. People are keyboard warriors on social media. Oh, Ace fell off the wagon. Ace was drunk. Look, anybody that's a KISS fan, that's an Ace Frehley fan, that's heard a interview with Ace Frehley in the last 15, 20 years knows
he was proud of it.
He was proud of his sobriety, and he was going to stay sober. So,
and another thing that makes you really believe that too is he wasn't one of those guys who was like preaching to people. He's like, everybody's got to have their own path. He had a different take on the way that he wanted to like, if somebody wants to ask me advice, sure. But I'm not telling them not to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. Like, it was a different take when I heard interviews with him. But also on that note, his tour manager, when we went to Three Sides of the Coin, one of the things I thought that was interesting that he had mentioned Ace didn't even want to smell it. Like his tour manager had to sneak out at times, sneak alcohol to the other bandmates. Like Ace had a strategy and a plan of dealing with his sobriety too, which lets you know how much he took it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. And that helps you. I think it helps somebody like me to really believe that Ace stayed sober because he had a plan.
Yep.
And he had specific rules and specific things that he wanted and put in place to make sure he stayed sober. So I think it's disrespectful to the legacy of Ace Frehley at this point to even bring up his sobriety, no matter who it is. Gene and Paul should shy away from it. And at least for this weekend, they did a pretty good job towing the line between addressing the fact that it was a problem at a time, but not beating him up about it. And as far as the keyboard warriors out there, look, if you are subscribed to the Hooligan Nation podcast and you are one of these people that spread lies and untruths over the internet, do me a favor, unsubscribe and beat it and get the hell out of here, because it annoys the hell out of me. If you got the truth and it's a fact, then it's a fact. It is what it is. But I see all the time in all of these Facebook groups, and I can tell you right now, we watch our Facebook group. Like, you put some shit like that on the Facebook group, it's getting deleted and you're out of here. Because you're not gonna disrespect any of them. Like, for all those keyboard warriors that are out there saying, oh my God, Paul sounded so terrible. He didn't. We were there.
He sounded great.
There's 4,000 people that were there. You can't get any of them because we talked. That's all. That when there was downtime, that it was KISS fans talking to KISS fans. You couldn't find anybody to say, "Oh, Paul sounded terrible. Gene did this. Oh, this did." No, nobody said that, and we were actually there.
If I'm being honest, I was surprised how good he sounded.
Yeah, so was I. I mean, I was interested to see how much the 2 years off, how much that would help him, and it definitely looked like it helped him a lot. But I think it was Shouted Out Loud podcast. They live streamed the entire Electric set, and we're in the concert while they're live streaming it, and I'm looking at the live stream, and I'm looking at the comments. And I'm like, if you're making comments like this, number one, you're not a KISS fan.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Why are you there? And look, if it was true and Paul sounded like shit, then you can say it. And I won't argue with you. You have a right to have an opinion. But I'm sitting in the venue listening to this live, and I'm looking at the live stream. There's people making comments. Oh my God, Paul shouldn't be up there. He sounds terrible. He did not sound terrible. Please go on YouTube, find all the live streams, listen to them all. He did not sound terrible. Look, was he Paul Stanley from 1978? No. But none of us are. He wasn't Paul Stanley from 1987. But none of us are.
Right.
He was the best version of Paul Stanley in 2025 that he could be. Same could be said of Gene, Tommy, and Eric. They were all the best version of themselves in 2025, and they were nothing short of amazing to me.
And if you look at Paul's face throughout the whole thing, he was loving that he actually was able to sing at the level he was singing at and be able to do it again. You could see that. I think he was maybe not surprised, because I'm sure they had their share of rehearsals to be ready for this thing. But you could see like he was really feeling it at times, because I seen extra times where he was going high octave and he was getting that screech out at times. But he was really strategic about doing it in the spots that he did. But he was. I was really impressed, actually.
At one point, somebody asked Eric about getting into the music business, and both Father Rocco and I thought this was a poignant answer. Eric said, you better have a passion for the music and your instrument if you're going to get in the music business, or the business will eat you alive. And we both agree Eric comes across very much as a businessman and could take or leave the fame completely.
Yeah.
He comes across as being about the music.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't he's one of the perfect guys to be in KISS, because hey Paul, hey Gene, you can be the stars, you can be up there, it's yours. I just want to play music.
Yep.
That's all I want to do. So I thought that was really cool. Paul made it a point multiple times throughout the weekend to say that KISS Cruises will be back in the future. I'm really neither here nor there with that. I can tell you this much: if they do KISS Cruise Landlocked in Vegas 2026, I will probably be there. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off if they do a KISS Cruise, only because I want to see the details, but I would like to be there because it's definitely worth it. So after the KISS Q&A, the Bruce Kulick band comes on. And Father Rocco, would you like to say anything about the Bruce Kulick band before I bring up the set list?
Yes.
I figured you would.
You know I love Bruce.
Well, Bruce told me he loves you too.
Oh, did he? That's great. I
He
mean,
did.
the one thing, and I know I told you this. Like when we met him, he's really tall, and he looked frail to me. You know, but like obviously the guy's not a young spring chicken anymore. But let me tell you something. That guy has not lost an inch on the guitar. He played the guitar great. You can see on stage they gave him a microphone because it's basically the Bruce Kulick band. So he was going to talk, but you could tell he's not comfortable talking. He wants he wants that guitar. He wants to play. You guys do your thing, and I'll play my guitar. I'll be the guitar hero. He reluctantly goes on there. He says a few things. Okay, I got that out of the way. Let me go back to playing my guitar.
Yeah, absolutely. So the set list, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm goofy. Well, wait, I am goofy.
You're goofy.
Thank you. But Quarantine, Bruce Kulick Band, even KISS Nation, Mr. Speed, it's about the songs. Like, we're not used to hearing these songs live, and that's what made it so amazing. And then it's the musicianship of the fact that they're reproducing the song in a live setting, most of the time note for note. I mean, the Handsome Devils were a little different because Louis Khalil is an absolute star, and he added, you knew that he was true to the guitar parts, but he was true to the guitar parts. Bruce played each of those solos exactly how they sound on the albums.
Yep.
Quarantine did the same thing. They weren't trying to change anything, which I appreciate the hell out of. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear a KISS song played like KISS played the song. And when it came to the Handsome Devils, you got that. Plus, when it came to Quarantine and Bruce Kulick, you got it precisely.
And there's another, and yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. And the other thing I have to say is, what's the bassist name? You know where I'm going with this.
Joe McGinnis.
Joe McGinnis. Okay. I don't know what song it was. All of a sudden, the singing starts, and I look at him, and it's before I saw him on stage, and I'm like, Gene came out with Bruce?
Yeah, I can tell you it was unholy.
Dude, he sounded just like Gene. I mean, he sounded more Gene than Gene.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's get into this set list, because out of any of the set lists, this one and specifically one song on this made my entire weekend. It really did. So Bruce Kulick's band, and who played drums? Do you remember?
I know what he looks like. I don't remember the name. I'm horrible. I really am horrible with names. I used to be great with that back in high school.
So Bruce Kulick's band was, of course, Bruce, Todd Kearns on rhythm guitar and lead vocals on a lot of songs. Joe McGinnis, who was a stand-in for, I don't know who Bruce's regular bass player is, but Joe McGinnis played bass that night, and for some reason I cannot remember who their drummer was, so I apologize. But Joe McGinnis did the most incredible, I don't want to call it a Gene Simmons impersonation because he put his own flair into it, but man, he sounded exactly like Gene. So they started out with Creatures of the Night, All Night, Who Wants to Be Lonely, Unholy, Thrills in the Night, Domino, Parasite. That's 7 of the first songs. And then on the 8th song, they do the most amazing version of Sword and Stone that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm sitting there in the arena and I'm looking over at Father Rocco and I'm like, I have a poll question. What is the best unreleased demo song that KISS has ever done? My vote is going to be Sword and Stone. Look for that poll question to come up in the next couple weeks because I'm interested to see if anybody chooses anything other than Sword and Stone. But man, that alone made my whole weekend.
I got to be honest with you. You're more familiar with that song than I was, but hearing that on stage the entire time in my head, I'm like, who produced Crazy Nights?
Phil Nevison.
He's dumb. He's very dumb.
Yeah.
That's the only, no disrespect, but he's dumb. How can you make that mistake? That song is so obviously a hit.
I really believe that's a hit. Like, I believe that's a hit so much, and nobody's going to listen to me and they're not going to do this, but if KISS is working on new material, they should record Sword and Stone and put it out. If KISS isn't going to record that song, then Bruce, with Todd Kearns in that band, should record that song. And if they're not going to do it, Todd Kearns and the Handsome Devils should do it. Somebody that's a KISS fan should record that song because I will suck that up. I mean, I will. I'll tell you right now. It is, from my experience, that is the best demo that didn't get released out of every one of them.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. And the other thing too, I want to just say, I think I said it before.
Well, then say it again.
If you are a KISS fan and you're not too familiar with Todd Kearns, get familiar with him. I am a huge fan of his, especially after this week. He is such a great performer. He is one of us, but he's a great musician. He's a great performer. He owns that freaking stage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no doubt. No doubt. Street credibility went up a ton this weekend to me.
Big time.
So Bruce was great. The entire band was great. Where did I? So after Sword and Stone, they moved into Larger Than Life, Tears Are Falling, King of Hearts. They did Car Jam with Paralyzed, Tough Love, and Spit. Forever, great. Another great version of Forever.
With electric, all electric.
Crazy, Crazy Nights with Turn on the Night. We got Turn on the Night again.
Yeah, you know what? Crazy Nights we didn't talk about, but they did a great job on Crazy Nights too.
They did a great job on Crazy Nights. Everybody did a great job on Turn on the Night because they took the keyboard. There were no keyboards in it, and they hardened Turn on the Night up. And again, if somebody would put out a version, and I'm not sure if Frankenstein, I think Frankenstein has put out a version of Turn on the Night without the keyboards. And
if you don't know who Frankenstein is, it's not the actual guy like this that walks around with makeup.
No, just search YouTube for Frankenstein, and if you don't know what we're talking about, when you find him, you'll fall down.
Yeah.
So Crazy Nights, Turn on the Night, and they ended the night with God Gave Rock and Roll to You. Not a bad song on the set list. They killed every song, and then we go in. It's funny. I don't know why. I don't know why they did this, but they had Bruce Kulick start, and then Black and Blue came in almost like the headliner. I have no idea why they did this. It was probably the second big mistake of the weekend, because when Bruce walked off the stage and the band walked off the stage, if there was 3,500 people in the arena at the time, 3,000 of them walked out the door.
Yeah.
And Black and Blue played to about 500 people. And Black and Blue killed it. I mean, to the 3,000 people that walked out and went to eat or went to gamble, you missed a really great show. And you did not need to be a big Black and Blue fan to, I mean, they do a whole choreographed show at some parts.
Yes.
Jamie St. James, again, I'm sorry, folks. I've never seen Black and Blue live.
We saw him. Yes, you did.
I did?
They warmed up for KISS.
Oh, maybe I did. I don't know.
That was a long time ago, but
I had a lot of head injuries.
That's where he met. That's where Tommy met the KISS. That's where it all started for him.
Right. Okay. Well,
But
I don't remember seeing Black and Blue, but you're usually right unless you're wrong. So
that is the nicest thing you've said to me in months.
yeah, you're usually right until you're wrong. But Black and Blue was great. And then last three songs of the night, I think last three songs, Tommy Thayer got up there. They had a couple great kumbaya moments, hugging each other and everything. It was kind of cool to see.
Tommy was having a lot of fun.
Yep. And it was I'm definitely glad that we stuck around to see Black and Blue, because they were one of the stars. As it turned out, they were one of the stars of the entire event, which is shocking. And when Black and Blue came off, was kind of like the unofficial ending of everything. They were starting to break down everything, which was another amazing thing, because we hung out for a few minutes. I think we went to our favorite pizza place.
Yep.
And then we were toast by Sunday night. And we went up to the room and we kind of drooled for a little while, and then we went to sleep. And when we woke up Monday morning, it was no longer a KISS hotel.
Yeah.
They had to work all night long to turn that hotel into a normal hotel again. And we checked out, and once we checked out, we went to KISS World, because why would you not? Which was definitely worth the trip over there. Anybody interested, please be interested, by the way. For an in-depth explanation, check out our Wednesday segment, which will come out on December 3rd, because we did the best we could taking pictures and videos of the entire museum and the mini golf area, which is a black light glow in the dark KISS mini golf. Might I add, I whooped Father Rocco's ass in mini golf.
I didn't want to let him win.
Yeah, so he let me win by like 20 shots, I think. Something like that. Yeah.
He's gonna go on tour next week.
I'm gonna go on tour.
You're gonna go on miniature golf.
Mini golf tour? Yeah, I'm gonna be
tour.
a professional mini golfer. Yep, with my mini brain.
But our busting balls aside, it's really a wild experience walking through there and playing. I mean, the detail and the design and the thought that went into that, man, I'm telling you.
And
really,
the
really
sheer amount of collectibles.
Oh my God.
That Gene Simmons has in his own collection is mind-blowing.
I was dizzy by the time we walked out of there.
There were things there that I had never seen, didn't know they even did. Like it was It was another mind-blowing experience. But check that out. Our Wednesday segment, December 3rd, will be all about mini golf with pictures and videos and everything else. So make sure you check that out. With that being said, Father Rocco,
Yes.
as part of our wrap up, first and foremost, give me your VIP of the weekend. If you were to pick one person, not band, it can't be a thing. If you were going to pick one person for the weekend, who's your VIP?
Paul Stanley.
Really?
Because I did not, I'd be honest with you, I sing.
You do sing.
I did not
I have visual proof that you do sing.
but I did not expect him to be able to. I mean, it was shot. 2 years. You could tell he's put a lot of effort into it because he was not going to embarrass himself anymore. He sounded really good. So just from that perspective, going in not expecting much, not expecting to be a little bit sad, I came out of there having like Paul had the ego back. He had that bravado back with the voice.
He did. Unfortunately, and I think Paul's in the conversation, and I'm not taking anything away from him because I think he did an amazing job. I saw KISS twice on the End of the Road tour, and there were songs that were hard to listen to. And there were no songs like that Friday for the acoustic set or Saturday. Friday was a little shaky at times, but it was the first time they were out there live together, and it got better as the show went on, I thought. But Saturday, I thought they killed it, and especially Paul killed it. But I can't give him the VIP. And there's a bunch of people, to me.
Oh my God, definitely.
Jeremy Asbrock took over really Ace's position guitar-wise for the Ace Frehley band and was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Kearns blew my mind, literally made me a bona fide Todd Kearns fan.
Second that motion. Absolutely.
Black and Blue, as I said, Quarantine, Bruce Kulick's band, Joe McGinnis. There's just so many of them, but Louis Khalil.
I knew that was going to be your pick.
Is absolutely my VIP. If I could sing, and I can't, but if I could sing, that would be the guy that I would pick to be my guitar player. He reminds me of, and we talked about this, Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. Like, he can forge a path just playing guitar if he wants to.
The thing about it that's going to be needed is the direction that he goes and who's pushing him, his aspirations. But the talent, I can't deny it. I can't deny what I mean, he is a phenomenal guitar player. He makes it look, the other thing too is he's a fierce performer too. Like, he's got the chops on the guitar, but he also has the performance thing with it too.
Yep.
Like you watch him walk around, like he was walking around us and I didn't know who he was. He was before the show started. He's walking around.
Right.
I had no idea who the hell he was. And he's kind of like nondescript, kind of like cool, what a casual, whatever. He's up there and he's a monster. Like, he's very, very aggressive and he's very passionate in the way he plays. So yeah, I can't knock you for picking him as your MVP.
Yeah, folks, if you don't know who we're talking about, you never heard of him, you gotta search. He's got an Instagram page. I haven't looked yet, but I'm sure there's video. I know there's video of the Handsome Devils from the pre-party that's on YouTube. You got to check that out. This kid, he's a kid. He's 25 years old. He is so advanced at 25 years old. I can't wait to see what he does 5, 10, 20 years from now when he has more experience. The sky's the limit. We may be looking at the next bona fide guitar hero.
Yeah.
So he is my choice for VIP of the weekend.
Good choice.
And it was not an easy thing to choose. Second question, What was your favorite set list? Like, what was the best band?
Ooh, that's tough.
Let's make this other than Kiss. Let's make this other than Kiss.
It's tough because the Bruce Kulick one is oh man, it's really that's how much fun it was for the week. But you got all the different brotherhood and things like that and community. But then you also had incredible music. Like the music was second to none, in my opinion. I mean, I I can't get past the first Fraley's Comet Band, and the reason I'm going to have them tip the scale is because of the emotion that was involved in it.
Yeah, I can understand that. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. For me, it was Bruce Kulick's band. And I think that's mostly because of the band. Bruce Todd and Joe McGinnis just killed it. And the other thing is because the set list was a bunch of songs that I've never heard live. It wasn't just one. Like, I don't think I ever heard Kiss sing Take Me live. But that was only one song. Bruce's band comes out all night. I don't think I've ever heard it live. I don't think they play it live. I don't think they ever did. Sword and Stone, Larger Than Life, King of Hearts.
You just did a thumbs up.
I know. Turn on the Night. Like it was amazing. And it was amazing. So my VIP is Louis Khalil, and my favorite set list was Bruce Kulick's band. Todd Kearns, Joe McGinnis just rounded that out. And the drummer, who I can't forget his name, like, it's not like he didn't do anything to kill it either, because he did. Oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot to say that Eric Singer came out and played drums on one of
Bruce Kulick's songs.
Was it Unholy or Domino?
Domino.
Yeah, it's Domino. Yeah. I forgot that part.
Another reason I like the set list, I just wanted to put this out, is you know how much I love the song Hard Times, and I got to see Hard Times live.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Where else would you hear Hard Times live from anybody? I mean, I'd rather hear Ace sing it, but that's an impossibility. So to hear somebody sing it and respect the song and make it as close to the Kiss version of the song as possible, which everybody did a good job of that.
Yeah.
Nobody tried to be the star or the smart guy. I'm going to change the song. I'm going to make it better.
Right.
No, everybody went with basically the Kiss version of the song, which I think most Kiss fans, I think they appreciate it. I know I do. I just want to mention a couple things real quick. The amount of fans wearing makeup, wearing full outfits, the array of Kiss clothing, and I mean clothing, like not just t-shirts, the Kiss shoes, boots, hats, sweatshirts, pants. I mean, it was a fashion show. And I think it was Friday night. Father Rocco doesn't always observe very well. He looks over at me towards the end of the night and he says, I can't believe there isn't more people wearing makeup. And I look at him like he's crazy, which you people all know what that look is because you see it on the show a lot. What are you talking about? I go, I've seen like 15 people today wearing Kiss makeup. And he's like, no, you haven't. Where did you see that? That there isn't 15 people. And we're walking towards the elevator to go back to the room. And he's, I think you're wrong. I love when he says that. I think you're wrong. And then the elevator door opens and there's a guy standing in front of us in full Peter Criss makeup. And I just look at him and he goes, just don't. And he walks into the elevator and
I feel set up.
I don't think we spoke of it until the next day. And that conversation was, I feel like I got set up. And then, of course, he sees, now he's paying attention to it. And you notice how many people are wearing KISS makeup.
I got one last thing I want to say.
Please
So
take your time.
we're getting ready to go on a flight. We got a steak. We're at a steak place, getting something to eat, hanging out in the airport, and it's kind of like a sad thing in a way, right? Because the KISS event's over. So we're just sitting there, just kind of waiting because our flight doesn't take off till 11 o'clock. So we got like 3 hours to kill. So a lady comes in the place and she sits down, and I notice she's wearing an Ace shirt. I'm like, God. And I'm trying to get her attention. At some point, I go, "Hey, cool shirt." I want to give a shout out to Deborah because we had conversations with this lady, and she's got stories for days. A lot of KISS memories and things like that. So she became a hooligan that night also, and we're gonna have a lot of interaction with her. You may actually see her on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, you very well may see her on the podcast because she's got personality and she's entertaining, and she can tell a story. So
Absolutely.
yeah, well, I can't even say that. She agreed already to come on because we hit her with that 10
Right
minutes
away.
into the conversation, like, because she's got a lot to say.
And she got a cool Ace Frehley tattoo, which I'm sure he'll show the pictures of. She just got her Ace when Ace passed away. She got an Ace tattoo. So,
And look, if you're a hooligan out there and you support us and you watch us regularly, number one, we appreciate you and we appreciate what you do for us. And number two, if you have something to say, this is an interactive podcast. We have said this from the beginning. Father and Rocco and I, we are not celebrities. We are not geniuses, obviously. We don't know how to interact with a minibar. So we're definitely not geniuses. If you have something to say, drop us an email. And this is an open invitation. As long as you're not a whack job that's going to destroy a filming of a show, you are free to come on the show.
and just say nice things about him because he really likes when people say nice things about him.
About me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not used to it. That's why I like it. I'm sure we miss things. I'm sure we will be talking about this for months. I'm sure things will come out. Like, things are popping in my head right now. Like the KISS merch, some of it was fantastic. Some of it we're going to put into future shows. Like both Father Rocco and I bought what we think is the single greatest KISS t-shirt that was ever made.
It's really cool.
We had to grab. I have one on right now. Not the single greatest KISS t-shirt ever. That one I'm saving. The merch store, the other things. This may become a faceless video because we have so much pictures and video.
You ain't kidding.
You may not even need to look at our faces at all. The other thing is we live streamed a lot on our Facebook group. So if you're not a part of our Facebook group and you want to see live streams, we live streamed the KISS electric set. We live streamed Sebastian Bach. We live streamed pretty much every band starting Friday. There's Quarantine clips up there. There's
Photos,
there's
too. We got some
Quiet
photos.
Riot. Yeah, we have all of that. So if you want to slide over to the Facebook group, it is Hooligan Nation, the KISS-Centric Podcast. It is free and open to you for you to join if you want to see those clips. And everything else we're going to try to incorporate into this episode. So even if you couldn't be there in Vegas, we're going to try to give you as close to being there experience as humanly possible.
And on that note, if you were in Vegas and you're a hooligan and we didn't happen to bump into you, but you had some cool experiences also, and you met some of the guys, maybe you got autographs, you got pictures, whatever, Facebook group, comments. Again, that's why we do this. We want to interact and we want to hear different stories. It really does it for us. So,
and whether you're a legitimate hooligan that's been around for a while or you're new to us, stick around because we have giveaways coming for the Christmas season. That I promise. They have to get shipped here from Vegas first. Oh, before we go, big shout out to Lisa. from three sides of the coin. She didn't blow me off, and I spoke to her for about 10 minutes. I appreciate you, Lisa. Big shout out to Joey Casada, Podcast Rock City. I spoke to him for about 10 minutes. He did not blow me off like I didn't count either. I appreciate him for that. And there's lots of others, but those two are podcasters, and they actually gave me their time and didn't shoo me away like, hey, you guys are small and don't count for anything, because some did. But they didn't. So thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Joey Casada, for treating me like a human being. I appreciate the hell out of it. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please leave us a review. And if you just found us, check out our past episodes. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel and you like this episode, please consider hitting the like button, just like that guy, and leaving us a comment. Hit that subscribe button so you can be just like Father Rocco and you don't miss any future episodes. And check out these episodes right here. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for supporting us. And don't forget, we should all lead with love and take care of each other. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.